Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issue number 2 of Magik, written by Ashley Allen and art by German Peralta. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. So, with that said, this issue opens 3 days post-Juno. When we get there, we open up in Tokyo, Japan, with Cal saying the next seal has to be here. For he just knows it because his grandma was using some Porta cipher, but he doesn't know the keyword. Now this was very important, because without it he had no idea what he was even looking at, and in fact, he also went as far as to assume it was potentially some kind of tracking spell. So as Cal continues to feel like he is achieving nothing, he eventually lashes out and states that Liminal could be days away from breaking the 5 seals and regaining his freedom. So with Cal's viewpoint made clear, Magik points out how Cal should be focused on going sightseeing and having more fun, because according to her, this mission is now solely hers to deal with. And then she went on to say that she understands he's angry, but she'll feel better if he stays put. Which is the opposite of what he really wants to do, because his grandmother entrusted this to him. Following that, we get a narration from Magik saying that Cal wants to throw himself into adulthood, but she knows he is not ready for this world. But he does not trust her, and she couldn't blame him at all. Because Darkchild, Magik's darker half, simmers beneath her skin, waiting for her walls to break like they did in Juno. Darkchild is so intense that Magik can't give it a second opportunity to emerge. So as Magik suggests searching the city, Cal replies with his friend, Ren, would have loved this because she hated Juno and always wanted to leave. And then Cal continued to say, she was going to pursue music if she wasn't killed by Liminal's demon. So as Magik sat there and continued to listen, Cal pointed out how he missed them both. And when his parents died, his grandmother took him in without hesitation. And then she saved up so he could go to a boarding school out east just because he said he was interested in tech. Because like a great grandmother, she sacrificed everything in the end for him. So as Cal continues to feel guilty about his grandmother passing, Magik points out how tech and magic aren't so different, and how he wouldn't be the first to study its intersection. Magik then states that she could show him if he lets her look at his journal, which he refuses to allow her to do. Now with this conversation going nowhere, the waitress walks up to their table and invites them to go out to a concert with her in a hush-hush location. At first, Magik didn't really care for this little distraction, but after seeing a drawing of herself among Cal's papers, she then decided to take the waitress up on her offer. 2 hours later, Magik, Cal, and the waitress all teleported into the club, and when they got there, Magik suggested that they should start looking for a seal, but the only problem is that there's a strange humming in the air, a humming that she could see. For something is blocking her from tracing the magical threads, and because of that, they need to sweep the venue, for there might be tech-inhibiting spells. With the marching orders given, a voice from the stage said, "Welcome everyone, I'm glad you could join us, for it's going to be a rowdy show tonight, but I'm sure that's what lured you out. And lucky for you, you get to be part of one last show, one last sacrifice." And after a riff of the woman on stage guitar, a demonic vibration ripped out and cut through the crowd, knocking everyone back. And in a strange turn of events, the woman on stage, Ren, turned into a demon. So with that said, Magik wondered to herself if this was a possession, or a mimic, and more importantly what could be amplifying her powers. So as Magik stood defiant before Ren, a flood of demons once again emerged and rushed the crowd. So with chaos breaking loose, Magik continues to narrate that whatever is affecting my magic is also affecting my portals. Magik was so off balance she couldn't even manifest her stepping discs. Because again mutants are being targeted, not humans, and for the life of her, she doesn't understand why. For there's no doubt Ren's guitar is disrupting her powers, and if she frees her from the force controlling her, they can evaluate the building, or at least cut the strings of those other demons. With that out there, Magik searched to find the source of the possession so she could sever the thread of magic using her soul sword. But something strange happened, because as Magik stared at her soul, something stared back and there was nothing of Ren within it. Nothing, just a small flame powering a vessel for something much larger. And then Magik instantly grew sick as she realized that all these demons were once mutants. Following that, the demon on stage launched another attack, but this time, Magik thought that the same trick wouldn't work twice, but to her dismay, the demon attack made her stop in her tracks. So with Magik's body completely unresponsive, she kept thinking to herself that these deaths will be on her for choosing to save one at the cost of many. When there is nothing even left to save of this poor girl. Something claws at her skin to get out, to escape. A promise of rage and retribution waiting to be released into reality. So as Magik sat there frozen in her tracks, the demon touched Magik's face and said, "Liminal is honored to have you following his demons around. First, the graveyard and now this?" It's almost like Magik wants to watch this happen, or maybe Magik doesn't care. And then the demon stated that Magik would have the strength to pose a challenge if she tapped into that fascinating darkness. So as Magik stood unresponsive, the demon continued to tease and say, "No response, I guess you don't actually care, how cruel. But I understand the feeling of not being able to escape your base self. For Liminal enlightened me to my potential and returned me to my natural state. And maybe he can do the same with you." As that was going down, Magik thought to herself how Darkchild's power sings to be released, and while she was stuck in place, she couldn't remember why she would resist. With this dark power, she becomes limitless, with the power to destroy everything. So as Magik stood in her Darkchild's form, the demon before her just called her beautiful and released yet another attack on Magik, but this time at point-blank range, sending her flying across the club. So as Magik laid against the wall, Cal questioned what the demons did to her, because she used to never be able to do things like that. But just as Cal thought that, Magik in her Darkchild form dashed back toward her foe and went straight into combat. And as they fought, Ren's demon form was putting up a good challenge. A challenge that Magik wasn't about to lose, for she cast a spell she learned in Limbo, a spell that had fire-based hands attack all her enemies within the club. So the demons were being taken out left and right. The friend told Cal, "Let's get out of here, because if they stayed any longer Magik would surely kill them." Because according to her, the beast was just playing like a human the whole time. So with Magik looking on in horror, Ren just told her to ignore them, but Magik knew better and said, "No, this isn't right. This isn't what I wanted to happen," because Darkchild could cloud her judgment. And at that moment Magik realized that Ren was actually stalling, because Ren didn't have enough energy to break the seal yet. With Magik slowly regaining her sanity, the Darkchild form disappeared and Magik landed on her feet and told Cal that he did good. So with all that transpiring, Cal was forced to admit that this demon was no longer Ren and they did all they could to save her. Following that realization, Magik steps back up and promises Cal that she will destroy whatever transformed her. With that vow made, Magik tells Cal to walk her through what he was saying before, because earlier Cal was saying it's spatial frequencies, and inverse frequency will cancel out the wavelength. With the formula in hand, Magik took back out her soul sword and charged back into battle, but this time Ren's shockwaves did nothing at all, and like a knife cutting through butter, Magik cut her down. Following her death, Cal rushed to the stage and hugged Magik, which led her to tell him, when she was a few years younger than him, she was forced into a hellish world she was not ready for. The supernatural was not kind, and while it might not seem like you'll get through this, even though one should never have been forced to hold this burden. And then Magik went on to say, just because a child can persevere does not make it right. And at that moment Cal realized that she really meant what she was saying. To which Magik replied with, she gave in to her instincts to win, but she lost control over herself. And because of that, she is sorry for scaring him. Following that apology, Cal agreed that Magik's demon form did scare him, but he bet that that same form probably scared the demons too. And then continued to say, maybe she never wanted that other form, but it would have been a lot worse if Magik never was here, because only Magik could have done that monster in. And right when they started to bond, a red portal opened up beneath Magik, and without a chance to react, Magik fell right in, and once she landed a voice said, "I'm glad that you're here. I would hate to dance around each other any longer." And on the last page, we see the demon Liminal himself sitting on his throne surrounded by an army of demons saying how together they are going to usher in a glorious new era. And with that said, this issue of Magik comes to an end. Now down in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about this issue and what predictions you could have moving forward. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.